Aloha, beloveds. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your presence. I'm here at the beautiful Rogue River in Gold Hill, Oregon, and I feel really called to speak to the nature of the womb today in terms of how we can return to the source of all creation, which in terms of humanness, human beingness, it is the womb. And when somebody might be wondering where we came from or what source is, we can look on a very practical level to the source of our physical embodiment, as on a very visceral level, earthly human level is our womb, is the womb. So whether you're female-bodied or male-bodied, we all come from the womb. And the reason I'm feeling drawn to speak to this today is that it's a full moon portal right now, full moon in Gemini, and it's a potent time for us to turn inward and to reflect upon the nature of our lives and how we've been living, and whether or not the way we've been living in reverence and respect to the sacredness of life reflects our intention moving forward. So it's a good time to assess. It's a good time to reflect on what changes can be made, how we can be in right relationship with our mother, with the earth, with each other, how we can honor the womb, the source of creation. And I've had some experiences lately that have really helped me tap more into what that means for myself in terms of respecting the mother, the divine mother. Mother Mary is one archetype. There are many mothering archetypes, and I just have so much respect for my mother and what she carries and what she continues to carry, and therefore I have to reflect upon me as myself, honoring myself as a mother, having given birth to 5 children and experienced pregnancy, and just knowing that it's a precious gift to be able to give birth and to embody life. And I think that's helped me be more in honor and a place of reverence in terms of the womb. But I do know that the more we talk about these things and make them more normalized in our culture, birth and menstruation, our moon times, bleeding, and sacred fluids, and our sexuality, the more we can be in right relationship with life. And my passion is to just speak to these things, allow the energy to flow in a way that allows for communication and deep sharing about these topics that have been suppressed in our culture, especially in the Western culture. Women's voices, women's bodily functions, even men's bodily functions, ejaculation and reproductive health for men, for male-bodied beings, is not something we normally talk about, and we don't share about the womb and the cycles of the womb. They're not talked about freely, and I just feel so strongly that it's important that we start talking about these things, about how to be respectful towards each other's sacred sexuality, and how to allow the energy of the creative force that comes from these seats of power, essentially, within us to flow in a good way and not be suppressed anymore, and to be talked about and celebrated. And solstice is coming up, and it's a time to really reflect on the light within, that spark of creation, and what happens when a sperm meets an egg in the womb is that a flash of light is co-created between those two energies. And here we are in full moon in Gemini, and it's that co-creation essence here, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, just honoring both of those polarities as vital to life and to light being continually created and made manifest. And I just want to speak to how sacred womb blood is. We don't talk about it. Women hide it, or men are afraid of it, it feels like, or feel that there's something wrong there, or dirty or gross. And it's just such a beautiful, beautiful expression of life. The sacred fluid of the womb blood is what cradles and harnesses the potential life to come through, spirit to be made manifest in physical form. And yeah, I'm calling in a vision of all beings being able to speak to these realities, that we are human fleshly beings, and we have these functions, and they're normal, and they're healthy, and they're sacred. And how can we honor and respect the cycles of woman, of the womb, and how can we live in accordance with the cycles of the earth? Right now we're in a time of winter here in the northern hemisphere, and there's a dying away, there's a shedding that's been happening, and it's a time to go inside and, like I said, assess and make conscious what we want to give birth to here in the springtime coming up, metaphysically, metaphorically. And yeah, I'm just so grateful for my life, grateful for this beautiful river here flowing, reminding me that the only constant is change. And the more we can submit and flow like the river and float down the river together, and be gentle with ourselves and graceful and easeful, and be curious and ask questions and continue to be in our heart space. And that's where the real medicine is the medicine of the heart. And just so grateful for the nourishment of the sun shining today, and feeling connection with the earth, with Pachamama, and communing with my womb as I'm bleeding today. And just so grateful for my life, grateful for these teachings coming through, and grateful to make new relations with folks, and to call in the sisters to gather, and to call in the men to support the sisters in the evolution of this womb energy that's coming through, and teaching us where we come from. We come from the womb. The collective womb is here. She's wanting to teach us and show us and gather us together and hold us as we give birth to these new ways of being human, as conscious, aware, love beings. And it's really such an exciting time, and I'm grateful to be alive, and grateful for the medicine of these times, and thankful for the contractions that are happening as we continue to give birth together, and respect for all beings in their part in that, and just wanting to embrace the dying and shifting of old paradigms into light and liberation and sovereignty in every way. Aho, matakuya.